You cannot make this stuff up. We had just a breaking news day with massive implications for the Broncos' playoff chances, our path to the playoffs, and so much more. We're going to dive all into that in this video and so much more. If you're new to this channel, my name is Ben. I break down all things Denver sports. So let's dive in. So first off, right off the bat, when the Broncos were 1-5 and everyone was saying that Sean Payton was a massive mistake to give up 2 draft picks for him, or that he was subverting the Broncos' chances and tanking for Caleb Williams, we have just seen a total 180 of that entire narrative. And now on Sunday Night Football, we are going to have the most raucous crowd that we have had since Peyton Manning. It is the biggest home game that we've had since our Super Bowl run in Super Bowl 50, and that is just absolutely insane. And so I hope if you're in the Denver metro area that you are not selling your tickets to anyone who is a Vikings fan, and you're not selling your tickets at all. Instead, you are going and making some noise for all of us who cannot be there, because things are changing and Sean Payton is counting on us. Our boys in orange and blue are counting on us. We're wearing our good luck navy all blues. I love these unis, and the last time we wore them was our win against San Francisco at home last year. One of the craziest wins I've seen. But as I alluded to and teased to in the title and the intro of this video, we have just had a stroke of insane injury luck that has completely changed our path to the playoffs. And I really can't believe it. You may remember that about a week and a half or so ago, I went through the New York Times predictor for playoffs and put in different wins and losses. And it said that if we went 7-2 over our last 9 games after the bye, we would basically make the playoffs for sure. Well, we won the hardest game on that, which was a game in Buffalo, a must-win game for the Bills. So really, we now can go 6-2. But since then, we had 2 starting quarterbacks in the AFC North go down, and the newest one of those is today. And again, we never want to cheer for another team's injuries, and I do feel bad. Joe Cool is a very cool cat to follow, but the fact is they were ahead of us in the playoff rankings, and now Joe Burrow out for the entire season. If you look at the playoff rankings here, that drops them. They're 5-5 after their loss last night, and now they're at a 27% chance of making the playoffs, which is just crazy because with a healthy Burrow, they were Super Bowl contenders, and now they're out of it. The Browns, again, who are ahead of us, lost Deshaun Watson. They lost Chubb earlier in the year, and so I just think that anytime 2 teams ahead of you lose their starting quarterback, that is a very good thing for the Denver Broncos and our chances of the playoffs. And if you scroll down here and look, we are at a 14% chance of making the playoffs. But if we are peaking, like it seems like we're peaking, Broncos, we know that is a lock because we play the Browns still. So our next 2 games, we play the Vikings this Sunday night, playing their 3rd string quarterback, the Pastronaut Josh Dobbs, and we're going to look at the Vikings and Broncos injury report here in a second. And then the next week, we go and play in Cleveland, which is going to be a tough game, but they are also essentially on their 3rd string quarterback. And the latest rumor out of Cleveland is that they are trying out, you're not even going to believe this, you can't make it up, Joe Flacco. Now, Joe Flacco is in our nightmares for a number of reasons. You remember the famous moon ball that he threw to knock one of our best Broncos teams out over Raheem Moore. But then also we signed him after his great year thinking he was the truth and ended up benching him later that year for Drew Lock. So, I mean, if we're playing in Cleveland in 2 weeks and they have Joe Flacco as quarterback, I really like that. Irregardless of who they have lining up under center, it's not Deshaun Watson. So just pretty nuts to have 2 of the teams I was most scared of in the Browns and the Bengals both lose their starting quarterback. So that is, again, a great thing for the Broncos' playoff chances. So let's dive into Sunday. What do we got going down on Sunday? And we had some injury reports come in just straight off of practice right now. So this is all breaking news. We need a breaking news alert. But what we have here is the good news for this injury report is I think that the fact that we still have the amazing Justin Jefferson as a limited participant in practice, I think that's a really good matchup for the Broncos. I think I trust Pat Surtain to lock him down like he's done with every first string wideout in the league, other than that game against Tyreek Hill. I like our chances of locking him down, especially if he's still a little dinged up, and so he is a limited participant. I was kind of hoping that their running back who had a concussion was also going to be a limited participant as he was yesterday, but he was a full participant. And so his status is still unspecified, which means that he still could not end up playing, because a lot of times in that concussion protocol, you're cleared for like a walkthrough practice, but then when he gets warming up, he could still not make it out of concussion protocol. So that really is our biggest defensive liability, is our stopping the run. So there could be good news there. But looking just at the giant size of this and the fact that Kirk Cousins, their starting quarterback, isn't even on this list, or it'd be even longer, you couldn't fit it on the screen. I like how long their injury list is. Now, coming down to ours, first one on the list there is PJ Locke, and he is basically ruled out. But the great news with that, yes, we're missing PJ Locke, but in his place is Kareem Jackson. And I know the league has mixed opinions on Kareem Jackson. I think he is a veteran leader. He has been in big games before, and while he's had some pretty costly penalties with targeting penalties and things like that, truly, I feel more comfortable with Kareem Jackson in at safety over PJ Locke. PJ Locke had that crucial interception of Love in the Packers game when he came in, but I feel really good that we have a veteran coming in who was the starter. So, yep, we're missing a safety, but the fact is we are filling in that safety with the actual starter. Looking at some other ones on here that are a little concerning is looking at Ben Powers, our guard, who has been a great blocking guard in the run game, and I really think it's going to take great guard play to stop like Danielle Hunter and that defensive line for the Vikings. But it's a great news that we have some depth at the offensive line, and our offensive line was one of the only offensive line that was still playing all of its starters. We're starting to get to that time in the season when more and more injuries are just plaguing teams, and knock on wood, we have been very, very clean on the injury sheet. And now we have a short week, but we are playing at home. And other big things kind of here that we have some Judy and Mims, both who are on the injury report, but both who were full participants today. So I am hopeful that they are going to be in the game and able to not just be in the game, but be difference makers. So lots more to break down as we get closer. If anything else breaks, you will see it here. So make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss anything. And definitely come here for the post game, because this is a meaningful game on a Sunday night. And you're going to want to be here because the Broncos are going to get to 500. And who would have thought after being 1-5 that we would be 5-5 after stopping the Pastronaut on Sunday Night Football? And we're all going to be screaming, "Let's ride."